what has been the most challenging role for you?
I'd say that this one in The Art of Getting By was perhaps slightly more challenging than other films I've done. Certainly because it was squeezed into a smaller time frame. You know, it was only about 20 days that we ended up shooting it. So that brings its challenges, but also its sort of joys as well. You know, being part of a smaller crew, you get a greater sense of ownership, and at the end you think, wow, we've sort of done this all together, which is great.
Yeah, and what do you like about acting and being an actor?
I just really enjoy sort of the day-to-day stuff on the set. I guess, I mean, it's fantastic talking to you, but the sort of publicity side of it isn't the stuff that most sort of interests me most.
Yeah.
But no, it's fantastic just getting to go to different places and meeting new people as well. I think they're the kind of memories that stay with me more than anything else. You know, those the great friends that you meet and the places you manage to go.
Yeah, and does your family come with you when you go to like New York and America?
Yeah, my dad usually comes with me, and then my mum sort of works back in London and my brother stays with her. So that's always the trickiest thing, I guess, about going away. You know, it's wonderful to be in a different city, but the family is usually, split up for a little bit. So that's why it's always important for us to, every film I do is a kind of family decision, and it affects everyone, so it should be that way.
Yeah, and you're at Cambridge currently studying Spanish.
Yeah. Spanish and Arabic.
¿Hablas español?
Sí, un poquito, sí.
¿Va bien? ¿Te está gustando?
Sí, todo va bien, muy bien. Y pues también estoy estudiando el árabe también. Pues.
You have a really nice Spanish accent. It's really good. Yeah.
Thank you. So you speak Spanish? Oh,
yeah, I do.
Everything.
I lived in Mexico. Yeah. And what do you like about university? Is it the sort of keeping grounded part of it, the keeping down to earth? Yeah,
no, I've kept the acting, I guess, quite separate from university, which I've liked. I haven't really got involved at Cambridge at all, and that's meant, I'm just sort of treated like the normal person that I am. I've been lucky, and you sometimes meet other people who haven't had a similar experience, but it's sort of been wonderful, and just feel like everyone else there.
Nice. And this is actually from my mom. She said, you have to ask this. How did you react when you saw yourself in August Rush? Because I cried and my whole family cried. So did you cry?
I'm not sure. I don't know. It's always slightly odd watching yourself back afterwards, and I don't sort of tend to go to the cinemas or anything. But if I happen to see it, then I guess I do. What always seems to interest me most is just seeing how everyone else has done, and sort of the other performances and scenes that you weren't in. But no, I guess what stood out with August Rush is similar to The Art of Getting By, that New York background, and that's what sort of I think everyone loves, seeing that skyline, and it's just, wow, it's New York.
Yeah, I love that movie. I was actually watching it yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah. And what do you like to do in your free time?
I'm a big football fan, so I play at university, and then also we've got season tickets to Arsenal. So the season hasn't started off incredibly well, but hopefully, we'll pick up the pace and sign some new players before it's too late.
Yeah, and what makes you want to do a movie? What is it, like the plot, the character?
The character is always incredibly important. I don't want to end up playing the same things, the same people over and over again. So it's nice to get the chance to not only play someone older as you grow up, but also in a different type of movie with different people, and that's what really stands out. Something that's different, I think, and hopefully The Art of Getting By is a kind of fresh take on that moment of growing up, and is slightly different from at least other scripts that I'd read talking about that period in life.
Yeah, and do you have any projects coming up?
There's a couple of things that I might be doing, either maybe a voice thing at the end of the summer, and then something else over Christmas maybe. So we'll just see how that works out.
Nice. And you said you wanted to play the bad guy. Is that happening anytime soon?
Not in any of these ones that I just spoke about, but it'd be still a fantastic thing to play. Yeah. I mean, I guess if I talk about it too much and say I want to be a killer, then people will expect that it will be me. But no, I think at the moment still, they'd be surprised. It would be a nice twist at the end.
Yeah, it would be.
Oh, it's him. Yeah, it can't be him. Yeah.
Yeah, and who did you enjoy working with the most, like direction-wise and sort of?
Everyone's really, really different. I guess the thing that makes them all stand out is the amount of ideas that they manage to come up with, and their real passion to drive everyone forward. What I think Gavin on this did really well was despite he wrote the script as well, and despite it being somewhat based on his life, he let it become a film by saying it might not have happened this way, but it's going to be better like this for the film. And sometimes you work with people who say it didn't happen like this, so it can't be like this in the film. And I think that's what he was great at, allowing it to for everyone to have their input and bring something to it.
Right. And have you ever had to learn something new to fulfill a role? So, like, for August Rush, did you have to learn an instrument?
Yeah, no, I had to learn the guitar for August Rush. I pretty much just focused on the songs I had to play, as opposed to sort of general guitar learning. Yeah. So I got pretty good, and I could use my fingers in the. Whenever I talk about the guitar, I always start doing. But yeah. So they could use my use that for August Rush, and then for this, obviously there was another American accent to do, but. Yeah, you sort of get back into the swing of things, and it seems to come out all right.
Yeah, and do you have to practice at it, the American accent, or is it quite easy to just sort of slip back and forth between them?
It was certainly a lot more work at the start doing sort of films, my first film in an American accent as opposed to now. But no, still you have to put a lot of preparation in, I think, and make sure that you're completely on top of it before you arrive on the set, because the last thing you want to be thinking about is whether your vowels sound okay when you're in the middle of the scene. So yeah. Do the preparation beforehand and then forget about it. That's what I think.
Yeah, and who would you like to work with in the future?
I'd love to. There's so many people. I'd love to work with all the people I've worked with before. I guess they've just been fantastic, and getting to do another film with Johnny Depp or with Emma Roberts from this would be brilliant. Yeah, I guess I've been lucky up to now, and hopefully just carry on being that way.
Yeah, and. What is The Art of Getting By about? Who would want to see it?
It's interesting because I mean, when I read it, I sort of saw it from a teenager's point of view. Dealing with that first love and the pressures that come at school and the pressures at home. But I think also it can appeal to parents. Looking down and seeing their son or daughter at that stage in life. And trying to figure out from their point of view how to help out. But I think I think it's a sort of special film about that special moment, really.
Okay. What was it like working with Emma Roberts?
Well, it was very, very tricky. No, it was brilliant working with her. She was fantastic. It made the sort of more intimate moments perhaps a lot more easier, getting on so well off set. And people always say, what it's like having to kiss someone on camera. But
yeah.
I mean, first of all, kissing Emma Roberts isn't so bad anyway. but when you're really comfortable around them, it makes things a lot easier.
Yeah, and what made you become an actor? What did you sort of say, I want to do that?
I guess in some ways I sort of fell into it, and there was never one moment anywhere where I said, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I started off, and my first big film was really Finding Neverland, and I really enjoyed doing it and wanted to do more. And so I've always sort of have that desire, I guess, to carry on doing it and see where that takes me.
Yeah, what do you think you'd be doing if you weren't an actor?
Probably just be at university and without that sort of acting side. But yeah, no, I really don't know in sort of 3 years' time when university's over and what I'll be doing if it's not acting.
Do you ever miss high school?
Yeah, no, I think actually as you sort of get older, you start looking back at your previous school time and thinking how great it was, and sort of you certainly have that in GCSEs. You think, oh, primary school's brilliant. You get up to 11 years old, there's nothing to do, and then you get to sort of university. And you think, oh, A levels were fantastic, and no, it's just funny how quickly it goes, really, and yeah, it's just goes quickly.
Yeah. Okay, and. One last question. What do you want to say to all the Sugarscapers that are watching this interview, and to sort of about you, five things about yourself we maybe don't know?
I don't know. What don't you know? I mean, I'm a big football fan. I mean, I guess what I sort of hope they get out of it was something that they can really relate to, and I think that's what the sort of main aim in some ways for the filmmakers were, to create something that accurately represents those emotions that people are going through, and so hopefully, it'll be identifiable and people will enjoy it, I hope.
Right, yeah, I'm sure they will. It looks fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nice to speak to you.
Same.
What did you have to do for the competition?